Now, on a related note, aside from civilian infrastructure, Russian forces seen targeting nuclear installations across Ukraine. International officials then increasingly concerned that a Chernobyl-like disaster or worse may soon erupt. With me to discuss is nuclear emergency management expert and chair of the World Nuclear Forum 193, Colonel and Dr. Ori Nissim Levy. Thank you so much for being with us, Colonel. Now, starting with the Chernobyl plant, IAEA officials saying that they've lost remote data transmission from the site and that there's 48 hours before radiation leaks are quote-unquote imminent. What exactly does that mean? And is anyone or anything keeping the lid closed on that Pandora's box?
Hi, Howard. Thank you for hosting me. This situation is really can be really small and really big. What we know from nuclear incidents around the world, like Chernobyl, Fukushima, 3 Mile Island, and others, that as opposed to other situations in emergency like earthquake, war, or any other, nuclear incident can be really small. They can happen and nobody knows about it, especially a specific country or state. But they can grow really, really big, which means that's what happened in Fukushima and in Chernobyl. We have the world nuclear scale for a size of event, and Chernobyl and Fukushima both started at a level of 4, and they got to the top level, which is 7. In other words, what's going to happen in Chernobyl and Zaporizhzhia, we don't really know. If you ask my expectation, nothing big is going to happen yet. But the war of nuclear sometimes is the war of unknown, of frightness. So that's what I think the Russians trying to do right now, because Russia and Ukraine are very close. So if something big happened especially in Chernobyl, which is in the north, right. I'm sure if it's going to be big, definitely Russia is going to suffer from it. So I really either don't understand the logic of Putin's and his administration, or they know what they're doing and they're not going for anything big.
Well, so how will we know if the plant is leaking? You know, what are the signs that a cascade failure has begun?
I'm definitely sure that the Russian and the Ukraine knows exactly what the level of radiation is. I myself were, visited to site like this, specifically in Ukraine, in Chernobyl, and before something happened, like it was 3 years ago, there's no problem to be really close by. So, in other words, I think if something big is going to happen, the Ukraine will know, definitely the Russian will know, and of course the world will know. I don't see any scenario that something big happened and nobody knows about it.
Again, though, maybe you could give me some specifics. You know, what are some of the signs that it's too late to stop a disaster?
Unfortunately, in nuclear incidents and radiation, we cannot feel it, we cannot see it, and we cannot know that it's there. So this is one of the biggest problem of nuclear incidents. That's what happened in 3 Mile Island, in Chernobyl, and also in Fukushima. Once those places got hurt, nobody knew, even though the American in the United States, so the people are dancing in the street. So if something bad happens, if the people around that know the radiation level decide not to tell us, we will not know, and even the people around, I'm talking about a few miles around, they will not know that something bad happens.
All right, now you mentioned that if Chernobyl were to have a failure, Russia would feel it, and so they're unlikely to allow it to happen so easily. But Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuyeba says that with the plant damaged, all of Europe could be put in danger. How many people would be affected by such a failure? You know, how far-reaching would a nuclear event at one of the 15 plants in Ukraine be?
Yeah, it's 4 sites and 15 plants, and I'm coming from the World Nuclear Forum. We have scientists all over the world, and what we're trying to do very hard is not to scare, because it's very easy to give you a huge number of catastrophic event, and everybody will be scared, but usually it's the other way around, which means if we talk about Chernobyl, only 40 people died from radiation. We have other effects, but straightly forward, or in Fukushima, 0 person died from the event. I'm repeating this number, 0, which means nobody really got hurt. So if you ask me what happened what will happen in Chernobyl, I think nothing big will happen. But after saying that, if something really, really big happens, it can be a huge damage. If I get the chance to show you the cloud of the radiation around all Europe, in 1986, once we had the Chernobyl event, it was really huge. So to try to sum this reply, I don't think it's good to scare anyone. There's no reason to be scared, but the potential is really, really big. If you ask me, it's definitely not going to go for this level.
All right. Colonel, thank you so much for joining us and for your insights.
Thank you, Aaron.
ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.